Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the South Coast Tournament. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. So let's go. Here in this playthrough I'm going to play with basically only basic or mauling balls. I'm going to make one change, or like two changes. I'm going to play with a power 3 ball, a Titan ball on hole 5 and hole number 9. Trying to keep this as rookie based as possible with the lowest clubs that I do possess. And also with more, what can I say, conservative ways, so you make sure that you're gonna get your birdie on a par 4 and a par 3, and also going to make that eagle on a par 5. First and foremost here, when we do play hole number 1, 20% downhill, super important. We do need to add them to the wind here as a start. You know, if you have a 4 mile per hour wind, you're going to add 20% to that, so you're gonna get 4.8. And that is the number that you are going to adjust for. You play the shot straight down the middle, because we're most likely not going to have the curl enough to play on the right side, and then we're going to just risk too much going into the rough or into the sand. The problem we do have there on the left though is that if we're not having a club with a lot of backspin, I'm talking 7, 8, 9, 10 bars of backspin, then we cannot go for a fairway bounce towards the pin. Then we're going to have to play doing a rough bump. So I'm going to show you the rough bump. Doesn't mean that you will have to play according to the rough bump. But if you're gonna play the rough bump, you go with 2.5 bar side spin and 1 bar top spin. You're gonna aim straight at the pin with the rough there as a reference. Gonna play 40% downhill, 40, which is a lot. So we're going to play this one 2.9 rings in the end. And that will make you hit the rough. But if you do feel uncomfortable going for the rough bump, then you just lay up and you play for getting your ball to the green. You might going to get yourself a little bit of a longer putt, but at least you're going to secure the birdie. So then you can aim on the fairway and bounce yourself towards the pin there. But to get the eagle, a chance for the eagle, then we will have to go for the rough bump, especially if we're not having the clubs to go curling to the right. Hole number 2, here I'm playing with a Viper, and with a Viper level 6 doesn't give me that much. It gives me 1.5 bar top spin, and that's what I'm going to use, with 2.5 bar side spin to the left, which is maximum side spin with a mauling ball. Aiming straight at the pin is the plan at least, and gonna bounce myself towards the pin. And from this distance here, I'm going to play medium distance with a 30% over adjustment, a lot once again, which is going to be 2 rings. Sure, if you do have a ball that gives you more side spin, use more side spin, pull yourself more to the right, so you're not endangering the rough and the sand there to the left. You will also want to have 2 bars of top spin on your club, and that might need you to change to another wood club, might need to change to the big dog or to a lower level horizon or something, but I would like you to play with 2 bars of topspin going towards the pin there, and I played only with 1.5 and I went a little bit short. But the most important part here is that I believe that playing with a power 0 or a power 1 ball is going to be the best in terms of distance. Playing with a power 3 ball will get you in between clubs on this par 3, and we only want to make sure that we bounce away from the rough and from the sand, getting ourselves to the green, or as worst case scenario, kind of in a position like our opponent were in there. Hole number 3, here I'm going to play with a mauling ball once again, and mauling ball with 2.5 bar side spin to the left, but also with some top spin. 3 bars top spin is what I'm looking for here, 2.5 to 3 I would say, so 2.5 is going to be enough. Stretch out your club so you can visualize the point where you want the ball to bounce. So you do not want the ball to bounce so close towards the rough, so I'm going to stretch it out, and from that position I'm going to adjust my rings, which is not going to be much. It's going to be 1.5, 1.7 rings or something like that. Then we go with the curl that we do have on our club, and the extra mile, even though in a lower level, do have half a ball of curl in a way to be used. So we use half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left, and then we're gonna put ourselves there to the top. For the approach then we're going to have to play with a club that gives us distance. And I would consider you, especially with lower level sniper, lower level vipers, and I would consider playing with the big dog here if you do have it unlocked, so you can make sure that you don't have to feel that you would be better off playing with a power 3 ball or a power 2 ball, because of course with a power 0 ball we won't be getting any extra distance. The drive, the last piece for the drive before it's time to take the second shot, is that you need to over adjust 20% going to the right side. If you for some reason would be feeling more comfortable going to the left side, then you're going to over adjust it 10%. So it changes depending on the side that you're playing on. And so now it's time for the second shot. Second shot, we don't need to over adjust or under adjust anything. We're just gonna play it as normal. So I'm going to use the max topspin here, which is 1.5 bar, not much, once again on the Viper. And this is the reason why I would like us to play with a club that gives us a little bit more distance. So we are not going to have to use topspin. I really dislike using topspin, especially in tailwind, because it's sometimes going to make our ball getting such an extended push, even though we have a low wind. It's going to get us an extended ball guideline and make it hard to get it to stop at the point that we do want to. So we drag it back and we're going to hit the ball perfect. Very important that you focus, you hit the ball perfect. We're gonna come in here nicely towards the pin, a little bit hot though, but still we're gonna give the ball a chance to drop there in the hole. And if we would be getting at the pin, we would be dropping that one for an albatross. So the albatross is definitely a possibility there. Hole number 4. Here I'm making myself having a very hard time using a Marlin ball. I would like you to play with a ball that gives you more side spin if you can. And then I mean a Quasar or a Katana if that's something that you can use. But if you want to use a power 0 ball, as Marlin would be the lowest I would go, because we frankly need side spin to the right there. I'm going to adjust 6 rings for a 4.7 ring, 4.7 in wind. And it's going, oh, it even goes 7. Now I see why I went so far to the left. So I would be going with 6 rings here, that was the plan. And going with max curl, which is approximately half a ball to 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. And with the 3.5 bar topspin, we're gonna get enough distance, but look how much I over adjusted this shot. So we definitely need to adjust it properly, and then we're gonna come in nicely. And the thing is here that I do not want us to push it too much there to the right, or aim as too much to the bunker area, because if we do get into the bunker, we all know how hard it is to hit perfect from the sand compared to a regular shot. So this would be in rookie, in my opinion, a hole where you should be more focused on playing a conservative line, so you get your ball towards the green in some form so you can secure that birdie. I don't see many hole-in-ones in any divisions on this hole, but especially not in rookie, because we do not really have the club abilities to play with in a good way. Our opponent's going to use the curl here, didn't adjust it enough, and you can see it's going to bounce here into the sand, and that you will see many of your opponents do. So that is what we do want to prevent. Now we come to the first hole where we're going to use a power 3 ball, a Titan, and the only reason we're using a power 3 ball is to give ourselves the chance to reach. We will not be able to reach in a, like, even with overpower, with a power 1 ball, or yeah, maybe not even a power 2 ball. So I'm going to use, when it's my turn, I'm going to use max topspin on my club, which is 4.5 bars, and as much side spin on my club as well, or my ball, which is 4.5 bar that we do have on a Titan, which is a side spin 2 ball. We do want to gain as much distance and as much and also being so close to the right side that we can almost taste the higher grass. But of course we do not want to get in there, so we need to find a balance there, that we do want to push it but not push it too hard. Worst case scenario, we get into the rough and then the eagle is going to most likely be pretty dead. But if we do get it to fairway, we're definitely going to have a very good chance to make an eagle here on this tough par 5, or I would say long par 5. So you can see I'm using 4 bars topspin here, but you could definitely use 4.5. It's just me being overly conservative, and I'm going to adjust this one for 1 ring, because the extra mile level 5 has 2.4 per ring, so it's that one is pretty easy to do in my head. And we hit the ball perfect, straight down the middle there, no overpower, nothing. and the topspin and the side spin to the left will take me down there. We could definitely, as you can see, we had more room to play with topspin, so we can definitely add the maximum topspin we do have on our club. Be aware, if you're having topspin that is more than 5 bars, don't use more than 5 bars. We do not want to push it that hard that we risk going into the rough on the top. Second shot here now, super important that we do have a power 3 ball, which we have, which is awesome. And then we're gonna play with the big dog, as that is going to be the club that most of the players playing in rookie are using and get unlocked in a lower level. So it doesn't matter if you have the big dog level 1 or big dog level 8, you're gonna play with the big dog here. And using as much topspin that you possibly can on the big dog, aiming for the gap between the rough to the left and the sand in the middle. And you stretch it out to try to visualize where is the ball going to bounce. Then you adjust in whatever way you adjust and you push it up into max distance again. And in this case, I'm going to play with max overpower, and the risk we take with max overpower here is that if we do hit great right, then we're gonna get into the sand. That's not gonna be any debate about that, and that's gonna make this eagle be super tough for us. So what do we draw as a conclusion from that is like an overpowered shot with a big dog or a club that gives us a very little accuracy is going to be super tough for us to make anything good off. So the thing that you can do is to play with less overpower, give yourself room to go short, and then you have a wedge towards the pin. But if you do want to get it as close to the pin as possible, you need to push it with max overpower. So now basic ball time. So we're gonna aim a little bit to the right side of the bunker there, and I'm going to use oh wow, there was a hill. I'm going to adjust this approximately 3 rings and then go max curl to the left that I'm having. Max topspin as well, which is 4.5 bar, and try to get myself just down there in the middle. I don't really care where I end up on, I just want to get there on fairway, so I give myself a chance for the pin with my long iron. So 329 yards, that's good. And with a basic ball as well, sure, you can see I'm using curl. The only reason I'm using curl is because I'm not having any side spin on my ball, so it's kind of like adds together, or like evens itself out, I would call it. And now we're going to have a straight tailwind towards the pin, and that's going to definitely be an opportunity for us to get this ball to drop in the hole. There will be players using clubs that will be going over to the right, and I'm not saying no to that, not at all. But once again, I'm not going to suggest that when we do not have that much curl and we want to use lower level balls. And otherwise, if I would be playing with a Katana Kingmaker Titan, I would be going over to the right all the time, giving myself a much shorter shot towards the pin. Now we're going to play this one uphill. We're gonna play this one uphill 10%, super important, using 3 bars backspin, aiming straight at the pin. And you can see I'm using approximately with the Goliath level 4 one square before the pin with the end of my ball guideline. That's going to be different depending on the club and how much ball guideline you have. But if you can try to implement that reference with this type of shot, it's definitely not going to get you way long or way short. It's going to be around there. And then of course in the end, if you're gonna get something to drop, it's always going to be a little bit lucky. Get in! So hole number 6, and then we go to hole number 7. Hole number 7, and here we're gonna play with a Viper. And you know, this is going to be also a very tough par 3. And I would say that this is going to be the most inconsistent one of it, because hole 4 and hole 2 we can more control, as it's flat where we bounce. Here it's not going to be flat, it's going to be bumpy. And that's going to have an effect, especially if we are hitting the ball great, or we are not making the best adjustment in the world. And if we do like our opponent's doing, even though our opponent came in very close and get to zoom in, it came in too hot, and that would never stop and rolling into the hole there. So I would say do not use the spot that our opponent did. We do want to use the spot before the bunker. And I'm going to play this one with the red ring approximately by the bunker, with also the bottom right of the red ring by the rough on the right. And then as much side spin to the right possible, which is 2.5, with no backspin, no topspin. And then we're going to over adjust. We're going to play it for 30% extra. 1.5 ring, that will be, because I'm going to play it as in medium distance of my club, and a slight amount of curl to the right there to kind of help our ball getting in there to the right. Unfortunately, hit great left, and we're gonna see this one miss left as well, unfortunately. A little bit long, and I would say we would like to consider playing with half a bar of backspin, or maybe 1 bar of backspin, something around that, so we make sure that we're not gonna go too long. But in the end, it's going to be a super tough par 3 to make anything good out. So just make sure that you do have an adjustment that is going to give you a birdie. Hole number 8. And here I'm going to just I'm going to put ourselves directly over to the platform there to the right. You can bounce before on the other fairway, bounce it over if you like that adjustment instead. But I think the easiest way, especially if we might not using the ring system, or we maybe are using the ring system but might not be 100% with it, then it's always easier to adjust for a shot in maximum distance than it is for medium distance of our club. Especially if we are using our minds, or not minds, but our head to calculate it. Getting it to bounce there as close to the top as possible. I think that's going to be super important. Okay, I will say important, not super, because we can definitely go short. But if we're going to play with a power 0 ball and playing with lower level clubs, like a lower level sniper or lower level viper that doesn't really have that much distance, we at least need to make sure that we are on the top half of the fairway, where we did end up to there. And then the second shot is going to give us, what can I say? Then the second shot is going to give us a very easy shot in terms of getting to secure the birdie, but also gives us a good chance for the eagle, because we have straight wind. We can aim straight at the pin, and then of course with all the drops we need to be a little bit lucky in the end. 2.7. And then we're gonna have oh, I actually saw that I'm using a little bit of right spin here. That wasn't something that I intended to do. So I was only thinking about using 2 bars backspin. So this should be maybe missed the hole to the right, if I'm not mistaken. But the second shot though, I'm not playing it uphill, I'm not playing it downhill, so I'm just playing it as it is. So 1.5 rings with the viper, aiming straight at the pin. But you can see there, if you rewind, I used a little bit of side spin to the right there. So we're gonna see how this ball is gonna go. Yeah, oh my god, like, that makes total sense now. I actually missed that one to the right, even though it was super close. I'm not complaining about the shot, it's just like I didn't spot that until now when I'm making this video. So don't use any side spin there, just use the wind, aim straight at the pin, and using 2 bars backspin. Then you're definitely gonna be close if you do hit the ball perfect. Now, hole number 9, last but not least, and here we're gonna make a slight change compared to what you might have seen in Pro and Expert, or maybe in Master. Is that we're gonna play on the right side, play on that little fairway pad there. But we do need to make sure that we get the ball to stay there. That's super important. That is super important. I'm using that word a lot, I guess. And also, it's going to be time for us to pull out our second Titan ball. And that's going to be necessary, otherwise we will not be able to reach. And that's the same if you go on the left side as well. You're still going to need a power 3 ball to be able to reach. Going to aim and start my adjustment from the +3 yard mark with a power 3 ball. But more importantly, the second bounce in the middle of the fairway together with 2.5 bar backspin and as much side spin to the right possible. And the reason I'm using backspin here is to not do what our opponent did. Our opponent didn't put enough or any backspin whatsoever, and as this fairway slopes downhill from the top half and forward, then from the middle to the top forward, then it's going to be very easy to get the ball to roll off into the sand or into the rough, and then I would say the eagle, or at least getting the ball to the green in 2 is gonna be impossible. Our opponent makes a good shot here with a max overpowered shot, I would say, to just land it there on the fairway, and that's what you will have to do. You will have to get it down there, so at least have a chance, even though it's going to be tough. Now, big dog, very important, a wood club with distance. Big dog has a lot of distance, and I'm going to use max side spin to the left with 1 bar backspin. I don't really know why I'm using backspin, to be honest. You shouldn't be using backspin. You shouldn't be using topspin. You should be playing it just 0 when it comes to top and backspin with maximum side spin there to the left. Then we're gonna stretch it out. We do want the second bounce to be approximately 1 or 2 rings like above or past the rough there that we do have on the bottom, if you could take a look at the second bounce there. And then we're gonna go with the no overpower, as I did adjust out from the overpower position. But if it tells us to play with overpower, then overpower is something that we're gonna do. You can see here how short we went with 1 bar backspin, so play it without and then we're gonna be fine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division. I've changed a little bit in Rookie because I do not intend to play with like a super bag and with all the best balls there is. But we do need to have in mind that even if we play in Rookie, there will be players playing with some like different power balls. And it also is going to be required on some holes if you're going to want to be there to compete. You can play with a basic ball on every hole, but I would say that competing for a gold or even a top 10 is going to be extremely tough with the lower level clubs that you're having. I'm trying to give you an explanation every time I make a shot, so you can, with a lower level club, even though let's say you have an XMI level 2 and I have an XMI level 5, you should be able to do the same type of shot with some minor tweaks. The important part as well is to ask if you do have a question. Maybe there is an adjustment you don't understand, or like, let's say like this: why, Tommy, did you use an XMI level 5 there instead of a quarterback? And then, or like, why did you do this? Why did you do that? I'm here to help, which is for everyone that is working with these playthroughs. So yeah, I'm gonna sum it up here that in Rookie, I do believe it's going to be tough. I think with the lower level clubs, we're gonna see -11, 12, 13s as on 9 holes. That is going to be needed to have a good tiebreaker, but also going to be something that we're gonna push for once weekend run comes as well. I'm not playing Rookie on stream. I do not compete in Rookie. I don't feel that I should be doing that. So I'm only playing the qualifying round and also this playthrough. So there won't be more content with Rookie, and therefore I say ask. And the updated tech scout will of course be there for Rookie as well. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and if you like the content in the video, please take your time, hit thumbs up before you go. Good luck in the South Coast tournament.